Iconic cars from Top Gear's glory years were scrapped after BBC bosses decided they were too worn out to restore. The Sun can reveal how beloved relics of the legendary motoring show have been crushed after a Top Gear exhibition at the Beaulieu Motor Museum closed last November. Among the casualties of the closure is Jeremy Clarkson's infamous Fiat Panda mega limo, which broke in half with former Radio 1 DJ Chris Moyles in the back. The car was refurbished and turned into a bench after being stored at the New Forest Car Museum, but has become too decayed to be sold on or even donated to charity, leaving bosses with only one option, and that was to send it to the scrap heap. Other legendary cars to be sacrificed include the rocket-powered Mini Cooper used by Clarkson and co-hosts Richard Hammond and James May in a bid to beat a professional ski jumper in the show's 2006 Winter Olympics special. The plucky red car failed to fly any further than 50 metres, but the wacky stunt found a place in the hearts of millions of Top Gear fans around the world and was preserved for 15 years in the museum. James May's giant caravan airship was also scrapped, along with the double-decker cars famously used when the trio, who later switched to hosting the Grand Tour on Amazon Prime, challenged their German counterparts in a 2010 head-to-head episode. The Sun can also reveal how many of the cars from the exhibit have been salvaged and will eventually be put on display at a new museum for fans to flock to from around the world. Cars prevented from being destroyed include all three of the group's amphibious motors and the indestructible Toyota Hilux, which Clarkson attempted to obliterate by placing it on top of a building before blowing the entire block up. And the Motormouth turns farmer's tiny P45 custom car, said to be the smallest vehicle ever produced, was also saved for preservation. Last night, Clarkson told us he was saddened by the decision, adding, "Disposing of cars from the show was always an issue. They could never be sold because after we'd finished with them, they were usually so wrecked they'd be dangerous to use on the road. I liked that they were all at Beaulieu. It seems like a good solution. And now I'm sad that many have been destroyed. I guess the problem is that some people see cars as just 1.5 tons of glass, plastic, metal and rubber. But to petrolheads, they're more than that. And that's especially true of the cars we used on Top Gear." BBC Studios, the commercial arm of the BBC, said, "We have rehomed the majority of the show's iconic vehicles from the now closed World of Top Gear exhibition at the National Motor Museum. And we're pleased to confirm that many of them will be available for public viewing at a soon-to-be-announced new location."